In our next presentation, the investment director, the head of investments at a company called Libertas 7, is also a listed company, will join via video call. From our point of view, that company is worth between 4 and 5 times, excluding debt, what the price reflects. We haven't seen, there may be 1 or 2 more cases in Europe, but we haven't seen them. So, and it's easy to calculate the value of the assets. What they have is what's there on the balance sheets, and it's very simple to come up with valuations. Basically, Libertas 7 is a holding. They have 3 different investment divisions, and we see a very good management team, very good allocation policy, so good business, good management team, and very low price. As we said, that's what we look for. We only work with value creators, and we only work with companies that we like, whose price is very low. So this is also an excellent example, as Global Dominion is an excellent example, and ENCE is another excellent example. We also see clear levers. Why is the price so low? So we see clear levers because, well, historically, that's a company that not many people, most people until last year in the professional market didn't know anything about. Company. It's a small company with low liquidity, but they are improving, and they are communicating extremely well now, and we are sure that over time liquidity will go to the market and to their shares. It can be seen that they've changed the website. They are doing our webinars with investors and so on. So that's part of the story that people didn't know about the investment case, and we like that. That's what we are here to simplify the information of companies and to speak about very good companies. So that sounded good to us. And then also, there are levers because the business is growing organically in the 3 different divisions. So it's not just how much other investors are willing to pay for a company. That's not as important. What's important is that the company can generate lots of cash flows, and the company is generating a lot of cash flows in all their different divisions. And we believe that the future dividends will be extremely attractive for investors, so that investors can just wait and receive dividends regardless of the share price. Basically, to make it very simple, so Libertas 7 has 3 different divisions. The first one is a real estate division. They have a home development business. Here, last year they built 33 houses, and they plan to build more than 100 homes by 2028. There's a shortage in the market. If you are familiar with the Spanish market, there's a shortage in supply. There are not enough houses being built. We hope a lot more supply goes to the market because this is a social problem. And even we see house development companies as social companies now because more homes are needed in the market. So Libertas 7 is a house developer, and that business will perform very well. In the past, why the historical numbers in their accounts don't look good? Because they were using land bought in the past at high prices. So they were showing the profits were not very high, but now with the land they are currently using and with good business prospects, we are estimating operating profits of around 15%. We've seen that the average in the sector is around 15, 20%, so we prefer to be conservative. So 15% operating profit margin with more than 100 homes built. They even built 300 in the past, so we think they will be able to reach those numbers. And with a price to earnings multiple of 10 times, that's more than 20 million, so 20 million euros in valuation. Then they have properties in Spain. They have buildings, offices in the center of Valencia for more than 15 million euros. So I said 25 times plus 15, that's one business division. They have 2 more. So they also have a tourism division. In the tourism division, they own 3 buildings in Valencia, in the Polsa Playa area, a very good area in Valencia. And the buildings have been valued independently for a value of more than 20 million euros. In addition to the buildings, so they are also managing those buildings because they are in the tourism division. They operate the assets and they have apartments, and they manage those apartments to attract people to the apartment. If we assume that the business were run without the property, so if they had to pay for the rents, with the capacity, so at the moment they are at around 55% occupancy rates, but that's because some of the buildings have been closed for a year in reparation. So with 65-70% in occupancy rate, which is where they expect like the normalized occupancy rate, they will also generate profits with that division. So we think value should also be assigned not just to the buildings but also to the business, and we see more than 30 million euros in value. So we also have more than 30 million euros in value according to our estimates in this second division, and we also have more than around 60 million euros in financial assets, because the other business division is a financial division. They have around 50 million euros in liquid assets. We know some of those companies very well because we've researched some of them. So companies like Vidrala, Viscofan, we believe they are some of the best companies in Europe. Louis Vuitton and some others with a long-term view. Jorge will present today. He'll deliver a presentation, and he has a very solid academic background, and the way he invests for the long term, selling a bit if the companies go up by a lot, buying a bit more if the company will, simple long-term common investing. So 50 million euros in liquid assets and 10 million euros in private equity. They expect to double their investment for the short term, and even more interestingly, they are about to get a lot of cash from those businesses because those investments were made some years ago and they are just getting the rewards. Very simply, we get a value between 123 million euros by 228 if we assume 5% per year annualized returns for the financial portfolio and 3% returns per year of revaluation of assets, of the buildings and properties. We think that's very conservative because of the market situation. If we assume 10% return, annualized returns, which is more in line with what we think of the financial portfolio, and 5% per year of the assets, we will get 143 million euros. That's excluding debt. And the company is worth 30, according to the market. So, as we said, we also know the management team very well. We've been speaking to all the managers of the different investment divisions in person. We liked all of them. We believe they have a very good team of people, all of them led by Agnès Noguera. So the family owns around 80% of the shares. And if some investors want to invest in the company, they can speak to them directly, because even if there's low liquidity, some companies it's impossible to invest if there's low liquidity, but they wouldn't sell a huge stake. We know they wouldn't sell a lot because they know that the company is very undervalued, but they're open to speaking with investors just so that more entities join and there's more liquidity, and just for the benefit of the company for the long term, and they are committed to the stock market, and we're sure this is just a matter of time. We don't know if it will take 1 year, 3 or 5, but when we see a good management team, a good company, and no conflicts of interest, if the assets are worth a lot more than what the price reflects, the investment will always be good. So 100% sure of that. We just don't know how long it will take, and we're happy to work with Libertas, and Jorge will join now the call, and he will briefly explain the outlook for each division. It will also take a minute or so to see them. Almost. Thank you for joining us. Can you see me?
Hello? Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you all perfect. I
Can you see
already
me? Can you hear me?
introduced. Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. So I already very briefly explained the main investment cases. Sorry, the main the main business segments, and I
Okay.
said to them that you are going to explain and share the outlook for each investment division and the
Sure.
way you see things internally. Thank you, and you can now speak.
Okay, thank you so much, Javier, for your introduction. Let me try to share my screen so that you can see the presentation. Just give me a second.
Yeah. No hurry, as I also have it here, but we.
Do you have it there?
Yeah, but try it first, as there's no hurry. But
Oh, yes. I think you should be able to see it now. Okay.
yeah, that's working now. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Javier, so much. Well, I'll try to be brief because I was asked to be brief with this presentation. Basically, just as Javier explained to you, Libertas 7 is a business group founded 78 years ago, which runs three distinct areas of activity since its inception: real estate development business, tourism business, and the financial investments area. In summary, Libertas 7 is a family-owned company, professionally managed by specialized teams in each of its businesses. And it's a company that has been publicly traded since 1980 and moved to the main Spanish market, Mercado Continuo, in 2021. Our value proposition consists of having three activities within a single company. In our vision, these businesses complement each other in terms of exposure to economic cycle, degree of liquidity, and some of them being more specialized and local, and others being more diversified, global, and capable of generating cash recurrently. Briefly, in terms of the company metrics, the main figures at the end of the 2023 fiscal year were as follows: revenue of 13.4 million euros, increasing by 16% compared to the previous year, an EBITDA of 3.1 million euros with a margin of 23% on sales, increasing by 46%, and a net profit of 2.3 million euros, which was 54% more than in year 2022. Our financial debt was 30.5 million euros with a net debt to assets ratio of 21%. However, if we consider the stock portfolio, which is fully liquid, we actually have positive net cash. So starting with the real estate area, we are one of the most recognized developers in our region, with decades of history, having delivered thousands of homes in many projects. In this region, local demand is at its peak, while supply is at its minimum, and the scarcity of available land and the growing need for housing have led to prices increasing recurrently over the last few years, creating a very favorable market conditions for this business in the long term. Having completed the construction and development phase of several projects, we are now entering a virtuous cycle, meaning that we will be delivering 2 or 3 developments or projects per year. And considering all the projects that we have in progress, we already have guaranteed deliveries for the next 4 years until 2028. Last year, we also launched a new business line focused on third-party commercialization, which is starting to generate revenue already. In summary, our goal in the real estate area is to grow in both volume and profitability. Just to mention that in the previous cycle, we delivered about 300 homes per year. So our team has the capacity to manage many more units than we deliver at the moment, while maintaining our specialization in the region. We believe that our knowledge of the business and the local market dynamics will allow us to take advantage of the favorable outlook for this business in the coming years. Regarding the tourism sector, the tailwinds for the city of Valencia are evident. Various indicators show that Valencia is leading the national growth in tourism revenue. The strong commitment of local authorities to boost tourism activity has transformed the city, resulting in a spectacular increase in tourists in recent years. We ran 2 tourist assets. On one hand, we own and run 3 buildings with 76 apartments in Porta Playa, which is a marina located 4 kilometers north of Valencia. And on the other hand, we also run a 4-star hotel with 42 rooms in the old Valencia port in the Real Marina. We believe that our margins for improvement are significant in this division, and our goal in the tourism sector is to achieve occupancy and average price ratios comparable to those of the city of Valencia itself. And we are also looking for additional hotels and units to manage. Third, the activity of Libertas 7 Investments area focuses on taking stakes in both listed and unlisted companies or non-listed companies. Our goal is to enlarge the portfolio, increase the volume of resources invested, and ensure the growth of the portfolio for the coming years, based on the current management team's track record for over 17 years, during which we have consistently outperformed both our benchmark and the main indices of the Spanish and European stock markets. Our investment philosophy is based on achieving long-term profitability with a focus and bias toward value investing on a well-diversified portfolio in both listed and non-listed companies, as well as across business sectors and geography. We typically invest in Spanish or European companies that we can get to know and analyze in depth, but which also have global exposure. The portfolio's analysis, monitoring, and management are handled by our own management team with support from our own team of analysts, highly experienced and deeply familiar with the companies in the portfolio. This basically provides us with an agile decision-making capacity and, above all, total independence in the management of our investments. On the private equity side, I would like to highlight that over the past 6, 7, 8 years, we have made a significant investment effort, and these investments have now reached a significant level of maturity, and we expect them to generate cash flow results and profitability in the coming years. In addition to being a source of cash flow and profitability itself, the investment portfolio provides us with a diversification tool for the group's other activities. We invest in businesses that are completely uncorrelated with the other 2 areas in terms of business, cyclical position, and geographical location. So history has shown us that the portfolio has helped generate a recurring cash flow compensating for weaker activity during low phase cycle periods of the other operational areas. Finally, why investing in Libertas 7? Well, we believe that we have laid the foundation for the 3 business lines for the coming years. We have great visibility across all our activities to achieve our goals, and certainly we have the commitment for that. Investing in Libertas 7 means investing in a group which holds a leadership position, has been managed prudently over 75 years, and where there is a total alignment between shareholder interests and corporate management. We also believe that our company has largely gone unnoticed by much of the investor community, yet it represents a great opportunity due to the expected evolution of the business and the valuation of the shares, which are currently trading at a significant discount to their intrinsic value. In recent years, we have been able to generate a significant volume of resources and cash flow, which we have primarily reinvested in our own business, as all 3 business lines are growing and are profitable with very favorable prospects. Secondly, we have made a significant reduction in the group's leverage, reducing debt. And thirdly, we have increased the shareholders' dividend by more than 30% in the last 2 years. And that is a policy that we aim to continue strengthening as one of the key points we are considering in the new strategic plan we are working on. Finally, as for the latest results we published 2 weeks ago, for the 3rd quarter of 2024, the results were in line with our expectations. In the first 9 months of 2024, we achieved a total revenue of 5 million euros in the tourism and investment areas alone, which represents an increase of 19% over last year. And the company's EBITDA reached 2 million euros, and the net profit was 500,000 euros. And that's it from my side, Javier.
Thank you, Jorge. We appreciate that, your explanation. You've done it very well. And I'm quickly going to ask them if they have any questions for Jorge. Yeah, there's one question here. So Arthur.
Why are they listed?
He's asking why you are listed. It's a company that is a
Yeah.
why is Libertas 7? Why is Libertas 7 listed? Yeah, we've also
Okay, yeah.
heard that question many times. That's why I laughed, and you will explain that
Thanks.
very well. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Well, that's a decision that was taken many years ago, and the idea was basically allowing for any shareholder to enter or exit the company very easily, since it's a listed company. And it also has provided us with the discipline to comply with all the requirements of a listed company. And that has provided us with all the internal mechanisms in order to report and manage the company accordingly. So we believe that this is something that may add some additional costs, obviously, for any listed company, but it is also a way of allowing other investors to enter the company and exit easily. And we believe that there are more pros than cons in this case.
Thank you for your question. Very good. Any other questions by the audience? No. Thank you, Jorge.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.